Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl. Today we're at the full moon to the last quarter. Perfect time for transplanting. I've already done all my vegetables. Well, on the most part I bought a couple of extras just because after I planted some of my vegetables, some of them didn't do so good. They didn't make it. And so I have bought a few extras just to plug in the spaces where we don't have anything growing. But today I am going to be planting my planters with all my flowers. I brought all my containers out over here, and this is where I have the garden soil. I've also filled up a bucket with compost behind me, and I'm going to start filling up these containers. I have a couple of extras over there on the side, but these are the ones I want to focus the most attention on. So just to get started, I'm going to start putting in some garden soil. I usually do about a scoop in each pot to start. I have quite a bit here. This is still my garden soil from last year. We put it on this tarp and then we just covered it up so that it was protected. That way then the weeds aren't growing through it. I mean, I see a couple of weeds, but on the most part, there's hardly any weeds. I think I'm gonna have still enough garden soil that I'll be able to fill up a couple more planters. So once I do a scoop of the garden soil in each of these, then I'm going to add a scoop of compost as well. I just need a little scoop because that's such a little planter. Now I have my compost here. We'll add a scoop of that. Once I've filled these buckets up, then I'm going to take these buckets over to where my planters or my transplants are behind my house down in the dog kennel area. If I don't fill up any of these planters with one scoop of each, then I'll go back and put another scoop of the garden soil and then another scoop of compost, and we'll just keep doing that until I fill the buckets up. Unfortunately, my husband has the wheelbarrow because he's at a gun shooting competition here in town, and he needs the wheelbarrow to move stuff around for setting up and taking down. So unfortunately I don't have a wheelbarrow, so I have to haul. I gotta put a little bit more. I have to haul all these planters carrying them. So it's a little bit of a pain, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna dump a little bit into here. Okay, so I was able to fill all of these. On some of these I'm going to have to add another shovelful of garden soil. I'll move all of these over to my kennel. Okay, that was quite a workout. I got all my planters here that I wanted to have in here. I'm going to start with this mix of a flower pot that I purchased, and it has verbena, two kinds of calibrachoa. This one had a pink calibrachoa and a yellow calibrachoa, and then it had this salmon peachy color of verbena. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be dumping this out of this pot, and I'm just putting it straight into one of these planters. But I need to get the planter ready to accept that much. So I'm going to pull the dirt up around the sides as much as I can. I might even remove some dirt just because I want to fit this planter into this hanging basket into this planter. So then all I'm going to do is dump this upside down. And the root system on these is quite amazing. So if you look here, when I put this pot into this bigger planter, it is going to absolutely be so happy, because those roots are just looking for somewhere to go. And I'm just going to break this up a little bit, not a lot, and I'm going to sink it down into this planter. And I'm just pushing around the dirt root ball. I'm not pushing on the plant. And then I'm going to add some of this dirt back in here, right so it's level. And I don't have any gaps of exposed roots. And there you have it. And then what I'll do is I'll deadhead all the little flowers that have dried up. I will deadhead that, and that's going to look absolutely lovely on my patio. I have another one. Gonna do the exact same thing. Take some of this out. What I'm doing is I'm building a well in the center of it. So then it will accept that planter in there. And these hangers clip off really easy. And I could reuse this hanger for next year, because it even has like the insert that I take out. This black insert, I just put that back in there, and I can reuse that for a planter if I want to use it for next year. I'm just gonna give it a little squeeze for those roots, sink it down, and I just grab underneath the plant and I push down on the root ball into the soil. And then I'll take some of this back. Planting has never been so easy. I'll move this off to the side. Done. I have one more to do. This one's going to look a little bit different, because I don't have another one of those, but my son gave me this one. It is so pretty. I love the flowers on this. So this is a petunia, but it has those white, or yeah, looks like almost like white or pale yellow speckles in it. And I love that. So I'm going to do the same idea, because I have some verbena here, and I'm just going to pop out some of these verbenas. And I'm going to put it around the petunia. Okay, but I'm going to do the petunia first. Loosen it up. No, I got to move my dirt around. Now I'll sink this down. And then I'm going to tuck these verbena alongside of it to give it a little splash of another color. Besides that purple, we got some lavender and a deeper pink. And then I got another one here, some more verbena. And I'm going to tuck one of these in here too. Over on this side. And that's all I'm going to do. And I'm just going to add this dirt around everything. Okay, there's another one. This is the tomato plant that I'm doing for a friend of mine. She gave me the tomato. It's the Mystery Roma. She gave me the tomato so I could collect the seeds from it. And what I do is I give her a tomato plant in this planter that she gave back to me. So I'm just going to make a hole in the center. And I'm going to try and sink this tomato plant as deep as I can. Hopefully, oh, there we go. I've practically sunk it right in there. And then she can put that on her deck. She had a tomato cage that she gave back to me. I'll slide that around. Oh, that's better. Okay, there we go. That's for my friend. And then these two clay pots are the ones that I'm planting tomatoes in, and that's the San Marzano. These are not the best San Marzano plants, but they got the root system on them, and I'm going to sink it right down. So that's the one. I'm going to pinch that one off, and I'll put the tag in there, or maybe I might need that tag because I have one San Marzano left. So I'll plug that. I'm going to go on memory. That's dangerous. And I want to do up these hanger baskets. So I'm going to bring them both up here to work on the table. And I have my geraniums that I overwintered. I'm going to use these geraniums as a center point on the planter. So I'll just make a well in the center and put this geranium in here. And then I can fill it in around the geranium and push down on it a little bit. I have another. Do the same for this one. So then all I have to do is decide, what am I going to put around this? Well, I've got some petunias here that I started myself. They're not overly big, but that's okay, because my petunias weren't as well established as the ones that I bought in the store. But they still look really nice and they're quite healthy. So I am going to just insert these around my geranium. I had 3 petunias there. And then maybe, what have I got? Maybe I'll put this carpet of snow alyssum in around that. And I'll just separate this. Put a section here. There. And this one, this is just going to be geranium, petunia, and alyssum. The geraniums are like a salmon pink color, and the petunias, what color are they? This is, oh, it's a mix. So I'm not sure what color they're going to be. And then the alyssum is a snow white alyssum, the carpet of snow. So I've got 7 plants in here, and that's more than enough. So I'm going to do the same with this one as well. My dog and my cats are over in, I can hear them rustling around in the field. And they're just having the best life, chasing each other around. There's my other planter done. Now I have these 2 planters here that I put one on each side of my front step. And I want something in the center as a focal point. Now, do I want to do a geranium again, or do I want to do something else? I have some dianthus over here. They're quite tall and lovely. So maybe I'll plunk one of these in the center. Put one in this one, and one in here. Maybe I'll put 2 center focal points, because I have some Cracker Jack marigolds and they get quite tall. So maybe I will try a marigold in the center. These marigolds are clearly telling me they need to be planted before they don't make it either. So I'm glad I'm getting this done. Okay, there's for that one, and then one on this side. There we go. Now I need a little something. Now these are flowers that I've never grown before. They are called the Nicandra. And I can't remember what they look like, but let's try one of these in this pot. I gotta push this out of the way. I'm afraid I'm gonna have an accident. So we'll put one of these in here. And I'll do the same for the other one. Put one on this side and this one too. Because what you do to one, sometimes you might want to do to the other and have it more aesthetically pleasing. Some Dusty Miller. It's a foliage plant. Doesn't flower, but they're quite cute. So I got a couple of those. So I'll plug one of those in here. And I'll put another one on this side. And maybe I'll stop at that because they aren't very big planters. Then all I have left is I'm going to plant my peppermint plant in this pot. I did not start this plant. I bought it from the Frank's nursery that I went out to do a tour of the greenhouse. And I bought it from there. And this is going to go on my deck on my patio table. And then that way I can just pick peppermint whenever I want. And I'll just put the little tag in there. So now I am going to take all these planters and put them around where they go. Had more than enough dirt. This is a plant that I got from my son called a Sonetti. I'm going to give it a haircut because all of these blooms are spent. And I'm going to try and do this without cutting the leaves. I just want to cut the spent blossoms because I think they will produce more flowers. Here, I'll come on this side and just give it a little haircut. And then I'm going to actually plant this plant into a planter. Seems to be my new motto. If I don't try, I'll never know. There, gave it a pretty good haircut. And I need to take some of this dirt out. I can always put some back. Make a pretty good well for it. And even if I only have room for this one plant, that's okay. So let's, and I've put garden soil compost into this again, just like I did with all my other pots. And I'll just sink this down. There. And then I can add some of this dirt back. And hopefully it does okay. I'm going to grab another geranium. I actually have 4 geraniums, and that's perfect because I got 4 pots. So I will put a geranium in here. This one's flowering. I'll put it down in this one on the ground. Make some room in here. It's kind of narrow at the bottom, so I don't just want to start pulling on it, because I could pull the whole pot over and then I'll have dirt everywhere. And how fun would that be? And I have one left, which is perfect. I'm losing all my dirt around my geranium. Okay, we'll put a couple of verbena in here, and we'll do one of these, what were these called? Macandra. Put one of these in here. And I've got a petunia here. This is called plum cockatoo. And the picture of it looks absolutely beautiful. I just picked this up. So I'm going to put this in this pot. We'll sink it right down. What else? I've got another one of the petunias that I started. This was the mixed. I'm just trying to use up these plants. I do have a spot in my front flower bed, but I'm a little leery about putting plants in there without some protection, because as of right now, the deer have not eaten my hollyhocks, but not that I want them to, but I keep thinking, oh my gosh, one of these times they're gonna eat my hollyhock. And it's doing okay, but how long is that gonna last before the deer come? Okay, I'm just gonna put that over on this side of my verbena. And I think I will stop on this planter. Put in a couple of verbena. One on each side of my geranium. And I'll get the Macandra, put one of those in. Grab these petunias that I started. I'll put one on this side. And the other one on this side. Okay. That should be good. I won't be able to put quite as much into here, so I'll put one verbena. One Macandra. Oh my goodness, I have these dianthus too. I might put those in my front flower bed, the dianthus. So the Macandra, I'm gonna stick one of these petunias in. This is called Indian Summer. And I thought it was super pretty too. Like, it just reminds me of a sunset flower. That. And I have a Calibrachoa, which Still got some room for another verbena in this one. So let's do that. Okay, Nicandra in here. I'm going to put a dianthus in here. And that'll be pretty. And that is all I'm going to put in this planter. It's not a very big planter, like I say. So I'm going to take these planters up onto the deck. So here on my deck, those are my jalapeno peppers. These tomatoes in the front, those are the San Marzano. And the tomatoes with the flowers on in the back, that's the cream sausage. There's my peppermint. More of my jalapenos. Some are jalapenos I overwintered downstairs, and then I added 2 new ones to each of those planters. Over here, I have put my flowers that I just planted. I have one in this side of the gazebo and one there. That one. And this one. And when they start coming along, they're gonna look like these. These are where I put my flowers every year. So those are the 2 hanging baskets in the front. And then the one in the back was the petunia my son gave me, and I just added some verbena. This is the other planter that my other son gave me for Mother's Day, the one I gave the haircut, and we'll see how that goes. These were the planters that I wanted, one on each side of my front step, and that one there. This is just a hot mess right now. This is where I'm afraid to plant flowers because of the deer. But so far they haven't touched my hollyhocks. So here's hoping that they don't. I still have lots of snapdragons and what else? Marigolds. There's a couple of petunias left over. I'm going to plant them in these buckets here. I have one on this side and one over here in this hot mess that needs to be weed-eated. We'll put some more flowers over here. Here's my hanging baskets. I got that one on that side of the gate, and then this one on the other side of the gate. I thought this seemed a little bit low because the deer might still be able to reach it. I might bring it up because I have it on a couple of hooks and a swivel, so if it's windy it can turn around and that swivel will turn with the basket, and then it's not banging in and twisting around all over the place. It works out quite well, actually. So that's it for today. Transplanting my plants from the full moon to the last quarter. And this goes until the 18th of June. Today is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all you fathers. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.